Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Welcome to the holiday episode of the Book Pub Podcast.
It's a special!
Yay!
I was really excited that we're doing a special. Like, you have all of these TV shows that does, like, quote unquote, the Christmas special, the holiday special, the New Year's special. It's like, we get a special now, too.
Yeah. So we are... I'm Lesley.
I'm Madeline.
So this is a special episode where instead of talking about books and the authors who wrote them, we are talking about the origin of Christmas carols.
And probably those who wrote them.
And those who wrote them.
See, it's still thematically on point.
Okay, there we go.
And Lesley did the research.
And Madeline did the cocktail.
Yay!
So, you want to tell us about our cocktail?
I love this tag team. It's kind of fun. Yeah. For a special. It's great.
Yes.
So I found this cocktail on a British website.
Nice.
So fabulous.
Perfect.
And I did not change any of it because I was like, this sounds fun. And it is 1 part rum, 1.5 parts mulled wine, top it off with ginger ale. And it's a chilled drink so that you can casually serve it at those holiday parties. It's red. I garnished it with a star anise. And it's kind of like flavored, spicy, but cool. So you're not like having to drink something heavy and warm. The house is. Picture this. It's a holiday party. There's about 55 people here pre-COVID.
We're having so much fun.
And everyone's wearing beautiful
Look at your
sweaters.
funny sweater.
Yes, funny sweaters. And this is something that you're serving in little glasses for everyone to casually just drink. It's kind of a punchy,
I was going to
Christmassy
say,
thing.
I imagine like a punch bowl, and you kind of like serve yourself in some cute little like, those little plastic wine glasses or something that people have at parties.
Exactly. And that's what you're doing. And Meg Ryan is, of course, there.
Yes.
And
she's in like a red fluffy sweater,
Yes.
looks like a Christmas tree pretty much.
Exactly. So, and I mulled my own wine tonight. So I thought that was fun. I took a bottle of red wine. I put it into a saucepan and I added... I'm not going to tell you because
seasonings.
I can remember all the seasonings, but I don't know how much.
Okay.
I just had fun. I did the star anise, cloves. I did cardamom, ginger, and a tiny bit of brown sugar and some oranges. Okay. And I thought it would take 15 minutes. Yeah. It didn't. Because you need to like let it kind of steam and a little bit boil. You don't want to let it boil too much because that's going to burn off like the alcohol.
Right.
But you need to like let it steep enough. So you need to like kind of let it slowly heat up until like steam is coming up.
So you keep it on a low.
Yeah. And just so for some reason I thought, 15 minutes. It was about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Did you have it covered?
No, I should have had it covered. That might have helped.
Yeah, maybe that would have taken
things.
Okay, all right, cool.
So if you cover it, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Uncovered, 25. So yes, because it's like it becomes kind of a tea. Mulled wine is basically.
Oh, and we were at a
tea.
higher altitude, so it might be
That too. So I mulled my own wine for this.
Woohoo!
I'm such a fancy
Yay!
person.
Well, L'chaim. We took sips earlier, but I'm gonna take another sip. Oh my gosh, it tastes so yummy.
And it's a fun fun punchy type of holiday cocktail.
It's total holiday, like chai tea kind of, but like with like wine.
But with wine. So there you go. And then since you're only using like a shot and a half, you still have a bunch of mulled wine left for whenever you're ready to drink some mulled wine.
Yes. Hey, maybe I'll give you examples of when you can drink some nice mulled wine in my story.
Oh my god, I love it.
So you get your little like Christmas punch, and then you move on with some caroling and some mulled wine.
I love it. Yay, let's do it.
Cool. Yes. So, origin of Christmas carols. Let's go back to the pagan Romans.
Ooh.
So,
wow. Oh my God.
Here we are. What are we, like on the magic school bus or something?
We were on the magic school bus.
You miss Frizzle.
Yes.
She had the coolest dresses, though. I mean, seriously, like, I think if I wore dresses, I mean, I have some dresses that are kind of Miss Frizzly, like dinosaur bones and stuff.
Exactly. You do. You've got some frizzle-esque attire.
Yes. So, back a long time ago, for most of civilization, carol wasn't just singing, but also incorporated a lot of dance. So when people talked about like carols or caroling, or whatever the old Roman Latin word for it was, they meant like it could be just like jubilant dancing too.
Oh, I love it. Even better.
Yeah. So carols were very common back in the early Roman Empire. It was not unusual to find ancient Romans singing carols and doing circular dance of praise and worship during their pagan festivals and rituals.
I have to say something. So I'm loving that there's like dancing.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing how that translates into what we traditionally dress in now with the Victorian, like, Charles Dickensonian, like caroling. How would you dance in those clothes? And I'm picturing a certain somebody that we both know who's kind of old and loves to go caroling dressed up.
Yeah.
And him trying to dance that way would be absolutely
I could totally
hilarious.
imagine that. I would actually love to watch him dance.
Oh my God, I would pay like thousands of dollars.
He
to
would
see that
probably
happen.
just do it for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question to
Oh my God. I would be. Excuse me. Can you do the old school caroling?
Yeah, how about old school caroling, the Roman Empire version of caroling? Do some jubilant dancing for me, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be a journey because. Yep.
We should let him listen to this episode. I'm sure he'll tell me a lot of things that I got wrong.
He probably would. And he would do it in his very slow, methodic way.
Yeah, he'll write me a nice email.
Exactly. We love you.
Yes. So carol. Okay, yeah. So the pagans had festivals and carols that marked the beginning of the 4 seasons each year. So every season, it's not just like winter solstice. Like they would go caroling, and do carols and have like big old parties and stuff like that for, fall, winter, spring, summer.
Oh my God. We need to bring this back.
Right? Each like season, the mark of the beginning of the season, you go around like singing and dancing.
I would love some spring carols.
Spring carols, right? Exactly.
Yes.
And I remember seeing, I think they called it Candlemas or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of Candlemas.
I think that's the spring one. I'm not sure.
Oh.
It's
okay, then I don't know.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't really. I'm like, don't dive into that. I'm looking up Christmas carols, so that is the focus. But I will mention that it was all seasons.
What? That's so fun.
I know.
We could create a club, the caroling club.
Yes.
And then just like pop up all over during every single
season.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have other things I'm going to tell you later.
I'm so excited.
Keep on to that thought.
Okay, holding on, marking down.
So obviously, the most popular one was the Winter Solstice, and it was the most common one, not just in like the Roman Empire, but all over Europe, and because it had like the biggest celebrations, lots of dancing around stone structures and drinking and caroling and festivities and stuff. So,
It's a little bit more intense
than the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad because I would have loved some spring caroling, but
they do that
makes
too.
sense.
They do that too.
But they did it,
yeah.
but then it doesn't translate over time because the Christmas one was more intense.
Yes, that one was super intense. Yeah, before it was even Christmas, when it was just winter solstice. Yeah. So now we bring in the early Christians and Christmas songs. And as I think it's fairly common knowledge, but like, as Christianity became more popular, they kind of commandeered a lot of pagan traditions and things.
Because I'm gonna say right now, historically speaking, even biblically speaking, I feel like everyone knows that Jesus was actually born in like April.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
That's Christmas is because they wanted to make sure that they took away pagan.
Wait, is he kind of like Shakespeare, where he died on the same day that he was born, or around the same time? Because isn't there Easter? Easter is not his birthday. It's is Easter also his birthday? Do we just celebrate his birthday all the time?
No, Easter's when he died too. So maybe he's a little bit like Shakespeare. I don't know. No, I don't know. But all I do know is that like the star of like Bethlehem, what they all talk about,
Yeah.
can actually only be in the sky during spring.
Oh, okay.
So it's like April, May.
Okay.
He might have been May.
But we need celebrations in winter, so it's like, okay,
Well, but
now
that's
we're
what-
going to
but
have Christmas.
To bring it back to what you were saying, is
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's why we have Christmas when we do, is because pagans were heavily celebrating
Mm-hmm.
during this time, and they kind of wanted to, kind of be like,
Bring
hey,
it.
look, you can also celebrate Christmas.
Yeah,
and
let's
therefore,
get
bring it
religious
over.
on here. Yeah,
bring
guys,
it
come
over
on.
from over
We're
here.
cool. We're cool. We promise we're cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna equate it to this. It's Quattro de Mayo.
okay.
Arrested Development.
Oh, Quattro. Oh, right.
We're
oh, yes.
celebrating
Cinco de Mayo,
Quattro to take away
Oh, no, they call it Quattro de Cinco. but
Quattro
what-
de Cinco. That's what it was. Quattro de Cinco, fourth of the fifth. When they're celebrating it so that they take it away from the Latinos, because you know
Yes.
it's a crazy messed up show, and how they take it away. That's kind of what happened.
Yeah. We're going to take your winter solstice and we're going to call it Christmas solstice.
Exactly. So it's just a bunch of like Lucille's and
Yeah.
Job's.
Jobs.
Can't believe I said that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. So so they start and so part of one of the things that they take on in addition to the other, pagan traditions is the use of carols. But the new carols had biblical and Christian themes with biblical figures, particularly Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary. And also the songs were sung in Latin and composed by clergies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Super religious-y.
Well, also because just make it so that it's inaccessible to everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna take this, but we're gonna make it so that it's super elite, that only a fair amount can do it.
Yes. So the earliest record of a Christmas carol dates back to 129 AD. It was inspired, perhaps written by a Roman bishop for a service in Rome that celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ. The song was titled Angel's Hymn. Obviously, that's a translation because it was in Latin.
Sorry, that just clicked.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be called Angel's Hymn.
Yeah, it was called whatever it was called. Another very influential carol was written by Comus of Jerusalem around 760 AD. This hymn-like song was intended for the Greek Orthodox Church. And after them, the Catholic Church started to really get into Christmas carols. But they also only wrote them in Latin. And so as a result of this, Christmas carols did not get much coverage in Europe because only a few people could read and write in Latin at the time. And so it was sort of just a very, very religious, very, very Catholic thing for a good period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get into the medieval period. I'm sorry. I keep wanting you to do spit takes.
I was almost going to do a spit take. I just don't think anyone ever said we're going to get in the medieval period. Yay! Ha 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 ha!
Chaucer, there's some cool shit back then.
I guess so. I just think of the feudal system and just plagues, death.
Yeah.
No plumbing, but okay.
Right. So
I like it. I really like that.
During the Middle Ages, a large section of the population was not so thrilled about Christmas carols because of the language barrier. The songs were relegated to church services and to the home of the elite and clergy that were fluent in Latin. Furthermore, Christmas celebrations witnessed a significant drop year in and year out. People would kind of celebrate it and then not really celebrate it. It just wasn't very popular.
What's in fashion?
Yeah.
Darling, what holidays
you
in fashion
celebrate
this year?
Christmas?
Oh, I'm sorry. Christmas is so last year. This year we celebrate social services.
Yes. We celebrate our own things.
It's all about the fashion. I could not come up with a word for another
holiday. Schmigaday.
Schmigaday. Let's celebrate Schmigaday. One holiday that I've been trying to get started.
Arbor Day?
No. Oh, I love Arbor Day. No, Arbitrary Day.
Arbitrary Day? What, you get to fight with people?
You just you pick one random day out of the year and you're like, Happy Arbitrary Day. And everyone's like, what's going on? And all you do is celebrate that it's an arbitrary day.
Oh, I love that. Oh, it's like an unbirthday, like from
Yes.
Carol, like Lewis Carroll.
Yes.
Yeah, happy
just
unbirthday.
Happy Arbitrary Day.
Oh my gosh, it's my unbirthday today.
It's also my unbirthday day.
Happy unbirthday!
Happy unbirthday! Happy unbirthday to you too.
Yes. So, there's a couple people who, or a few people who sang the carols, like they would travel around. They're called like minstrels. And they would move from village to village, like, singing carols as entertainment, so it starts off kind of being just in this like heavy Latin kind of thing. But then some of these travelers, would derive from like the original biblical themes, of Christ and the Virgin Mary. And they start to make up their own variations to encompass more like raunchy or vulgar themes to make them more appealing to entertain villagers.
As minstrels do.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Just kind of like getting into it and like, you get more money because it's like, it's essentially panhandling, I'm going to go to this village, entertain a bunch of people. And if these people aren't celebrating Christmas this year, like, I'm not going to just be like, okay, the Virgin Mary and she's so beautiful and amazing. I'm going to like sing something different, to get these people to give me money.
I'm into it.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
In a book that was published later, it was described as, quote, wicked and lecherous songs, dancings, and leapings.
Aw, fun. Now I do want to go to the Middle Ages.
I know, right? That does sound kind of fun.
Traveling minstrels that take Christmas carols and make them raunchy.
I know. I kind of want to know what, like, lecherous leapings are.
What is a lecherous leap?
I don't know. I feel like Monty Python might be able to tell us with, like, the the Department of Funny Walks.
Silly walks or something.
Silly walk. Yeah. We might be able to
Show
me a lecherous leap.
Let's write a letter to John Cleese. Excuse me, Mr. Cleese. What is a lecherous leap?
Yes. So all of this kind of continues, with like this kind of weird other side of carols, for another like century or so until
I'm having a really good appreciation for minstrels right now because like traveling ballads, those change. Like, what would music be like today without traveling minstrels?
I know, right? They really set the stage, and they also, they set the stage for theater too. So they literally created the stage, not just set the stage.
They are the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So
because there wasn't any of that before that. This was the theater.
Yeah.
Like
you
old
had a
school
little bit.
vaudeville.
But you had a little bit with like
you had
Greek.
like pageants. They called them pageants,
Yeah.
and it'd be and the Greeks, but like
Greek theater,
in
but-
Europe, it wasn't really, there wasn't anything but pageantry. Like, yeah, let's reenact the nativity scene or whatever,
Yes. So yay, minstrels.
Yeah. So then you have Saint Francis, and he comes in the 13th century. He was a very devoted Christian, and he was the kind of guy you go to when things didn't seem to be going smooth in your life. Among his many accomplishments included the revival of the Christmas carol tradition. So Francis made sure that carols went back into like biblical stuff, became biblical again. And, were about Christian faith and all of that. To top it off, he asked that the carols be sung in languages of the locals. And some of the choruses would still stay in Latin, though. So he was the first one who's all like, hey, if we're in France, then maybe we should be singing these songs in French. Like, if we're in England, let's sing these songs in English.
I like it. Okay. Smart guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're still like happening in like the masses.
Yeah.
Not masses, but like Christian mass.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's still that kind of thing sort of happening too.
Yeah. A little bit of the like elite type.
Yeah.
But then also let's bring it to the people.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And so because of that, Francis is sort of, and his Christmas carols, they became like famous all over Europe. And it also became something that helped like bring Christianity across Europe much more because it made it all accessible. Like, hey, look, everything's in this language that you understand. And so now everyone wants to kind of celebrate Christmas. Because they're like, oh, I get it. This is just kind of fun.
Yeah. I'm into it.
So then we have in the 14th century to the 16th century. 14th century to the 16th century. So around 1410, the carol about Mary and Jesus of Bethlehem made substantial waves across Europe. And in, which I don't know which one that is, but I guess that's a carol.
Wait.
A carol about Mary and Jesus in Bethlehem? I don't know. Maybe it was just kind of popular.
I mean, there's a lot of them. That's why you're like, is that a carol? I'm like, I mean, yes. What? Did I miss like one word that makes it like exactly a carol?
And he has a red hat.
That's close.
That one? Okay. So 1426, John Aldley became the first person to publish Christmas carols in English. Aldley was a Shropshire chaplain. He came up with about 25 Christmas carols. Many of the carols in the 15th century were either loosely based on Bible stories or untrue stories. So it's like, that's when you kind of get into like, you know, it's like a Bible kind of story, but it's like not actually written in the Bible. It's just like everyone kind of playing around with like the same themes of like, you know, Mary and Joseph, and we're trying to find a place in the inn, and you know, this cow's talking to us and whatever.
No crib or a bed.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh, little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. Yes. Made up stories.
Yeah. The more made up ones. Yeah. But it's
I'm
still
guessing
biblical.
That's a made up one.
Yeah.
That's the only one that popped into my head.
Right. Yeah. So that kind of thing.
I'm sorry for my singing, but
no. The Latin language continued to appear extensively in Christmas carols way into the 16th century. And the famous carols that came about during this time was Christ was born on Christmas Day, Good King...
That's the one I've been curious about this entire time.
Oh.
Thank the Lord. Okay. I've been wanting to know about Good King Wenceslas.
Wenceslas. Okay, I was all like, I have no idea how to say this, so hopefully
Good
Madeline
King
does.
Wenceslas one night on the feast of sea.
Oh, okay.
I clearly know the words. I just know that song is Good King Wenceslas.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
I love that one so much. I was really hoping it was a real person.
Oh, cool. So maybe that's one of the made up ones, like made up people or something. I don't know if that was.
But I was hoping it was a real person. He's a good person.
And so that one was originally written in Latin in the 16th century.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and good Christian men rejoice. That's the other one that's mentioned as like one of the early ones. Maybe it's a thing now. I don't know, or it was at some point. On the other less religious hand of this whole situation, so you have like that's the really religious side of like the whole caroling tradition is like now we're starting to put things in English. We're starting to like tell these like fun stories, you know, or like not like just English, but you know, languages that go with the country.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of what's going on in the world, in terms of caroling, caroling kind of had evolved into being like all this drunkenness, cross-dressing, dancing, total like PG-13, R-rated like lyrics and bodiness and all of that kind of stuff going on also at the same time.
Clearly have not lasted the test of time. I've not heard a single carol like that.
Yes. Yeah, it was the more like I guess non-denominational or like atheistic kind of a side of you know, winter Christmas carol.
It's hilarious.
So one of my favorite stories is that there is this Welsh tradition where carolers would sing outside of people's houses and hurl insults at the homeowners, and then the audience, the homeowners, would have to like return insults to the carolers, and whichever group outwits the other in verse would be the winner. And if the carolers win, then they have to be invited into the house and have like food and drink.
Wow, how fun! You have to be really rude and then you'll get fed.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, but you know, I feel like the first insult would be thrown. I'd be like, come in. I got nothing.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
my
know what
food.
to
I
say
don't
back.
care.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was like traditional stuff that like, like was written that, so it's like you kind of know what to say, like the yo mama jokes of like the 16th century.
I like it.
Where it's like, I don't know how to respond to this. So, your mama's so fat that she got mistaken for a cow in the manger, or whatever. I don't know.
I like it. That's a good yo mama joke. You should have had better ones since you grew up during the prime yo mama jokes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not you. Go back to the farm and not into our little hotel because I don't know. What was it? I don't know. Isn't that a Christian thing with the Jesus story?
That took a random turn. We were doing yo mama jokes to a knock knock, get out of here. You're not Jesus.
I'm insulting you and you're supposed to now give me food.
Oh, well, see, and that's why I would just be like, first insult thrown, just come in. Right there. You even beat me right there. I don't even was so confused by your insult. It's like, yep, okay. Here's a plate of cheese. There you go.
So then now we get into the Puritan era.
Ooh,
of course.
Okay.
So around 1647, the Puritans took control of England. At this point, the commonest form of carols was termed wassailing.
Oh, we've talked about that in the past.
We have, yeah. So what I kind of read with that is wassailing is when people would drink a lot of mulled wine or cider ale. Hey, cheers! And would dress up in costumes while dancing in the streets, and people would go door to door singing carols and offering people drink, or sometimes asking people for more alcohol or food, or they could risk being cursed. I guess that was like a kind of a Romany sort of aspect where it's just like, give us food or you get cursed.
I mean, that's even today.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, think about those like emails that would go around. Like, if you don't do this, this, and this, you're going to get cursed and a clown's going to be under your bed tonight kind of a thing.
Yes.
It's just human nature to believe in the curses.
Yes. And so this also still goes along with the idea that this is not just happening during the winter. This is happening every season, that you have people running around in the streets and getting drunk and dressing up in costumes and coming up to your house and be like, hey, I'm going to sing you a song. Now give me food.
We're only that easy.
And so that's where then it's similar. Like there's the whole idea of like Halloween traditions come from that trick or treat, give me food or we're going to curse your house kind of thing or just, I don't know, whatever. But we're not talking about Halloween. We're talking about specifically Christmas.
Yes. Christmas, wintertime, carol.
Yes. So the Puritans did not approve of this because it reminded them of the unholy pagans in ancient Rome, where people, did this kind of wassailing or caroling in order to attract good spirits to the orchards, in order to ensure that there was like a good harvest that year. And so Puritans weren't into this. And also probably because carolers at the time were known to get out of control. So, I mean, they're drunk and running around and asking people for like food and more liquor.
I love it so much. I'm just picturing it. It's just funny. So it's just a really funny image in my head.
They get really out of control. There was this one book that said, quote, when a fellow named Gilbert D. Foxley tried to break up the dancing, he was stabbed in the back with a dagger, cut in the right arm with a sword, and slashed on the left leg with an axe. He died after 8 weeks of infection and pain.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we got
caroling's dark.
Got a little violent at times.
I thought it was just like they were doing cartwheels and like maybe flashing people. I didn't know people were dying.
Yeah,
because of caroling.
Oh yeah. So yeah. It starts off all happy and jubilant, and then all of a sudden people are like really drunk and just start like stabbing people with an axe.
Oh my God.
I mean, I love this quote. It's like he got stabbed in the back with a dagger, cut with a sword, and then also slashed with an axe. It's like, who are these people running around in the streets like carrying these all of these weapons, like and they're supposed to be celebrating and having fun?
I'm actually horrified. I'm legitimately horrified.
Well, then you kind of relate to the Puritans because they were also kind of like, no, we need to stop this shit.
I mean, like, I think I relate to the Puritans in the fact that I'm not okay with stabbing, slashing, and gutting people.
Yeah. Fair.
I feel like that's something that they and I definitely understand each other. Yeah. Had it been my initial reaction of like when you said that they were unruly in the streets and stuff, and I literally am just picturing them like doing cartwheels and the ladies' skirts come flying up over their head.
Yeah,
and it's like,
being
no, like that's
I
like
saw
no,
your socks.
Yeah, like oh my god, let that go. But like stabbing, slashing, and gutting, yeah, no.
Well, the guy was trying to ruin their fun, man. We're just trying to have fun, so now we're gonna stab you.
Like communication, just be like, hey, fine, fair enough. We're just gonna go to the next house, okay? Not kill a man through a torturous 8-week period.
I know. Oh my god, they really needed medication back then.
Yeah, but still, he would have had to go through like, still a good chunk of like healing time after being stabbed, slashed, and gutted, like gutted.
Yes. So also then during this time, furthermore, Christmas carols experience a sharp fall because the new Church of England did not approve of it because they viewed Christmas songs as being a Catholic tradition with like pagan roots. So there was a campaign to ban Christmas carols that came into effect post the Glorious Revolution of 1688. And that's during the time when James II was also like out. So it's like James II's oust, and they banned Christmas carols at the same time.
Terrible time. I would not. I'd be like, I'm moving.
Like banned, banned. This is Catholic. This is a Catholic tradition. We're not doing this anymore. Like goodbye Christmas carols.
Oh my god.
Yes. So with sailing and carol singing was forced to go underground, and they were only done in secrecy among village folks for about a century.
Wow.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, it's just like it becomes
speakeasies of caroling.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Don't tell anyone that we're singing right now.
Okay, you're in. Okay, those kind of carols are over that corner. Those kind of carols are over that corner, and that's there.
Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. Thanks. Wait, where's the corner for Frosty the Snowman?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's actually not at this club. You have to go to the one down the hallway a little bit more. Their code is poinsettias. Poinsettias. Exactly. Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
We're strictly Santa Claus here.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, cool.
I like this. I want to have secret underground caroling sessions. What would you wear?
Mistletoe? I don't know.
Nothing but.
Oh, like the Adam and Eve thing, instead of like a leaf, it's a mistletoe leaf.
Just like mistletoe.
Yeah.
Be very cold.
So now we're gonna skip into the Victorian era.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So around the middle of the 19th century, when Queen Victoria was on the British throne, Christmas carols made another comeback. Growing up, Queen Victoria's mother, Princess Victoria, or the Duchess of Kent, the old one, isn't one of them now? Isn't like one of the royal people who are young and that are like near our age, like isn't one of them Duchess of Kent? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So the old one, the former.
Well, the titles are always changing.
Okay. Yeah, they keep getting them. So yes. So so OG Princess of Kent.
Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Oh, no, I just needed to sneeze. Okay. And I didn't want to interrupt you.
So Queen Victoria's mother, Princess Victoria, or the Duchess of Kent, introduced the young Victoria to sell some elements of Christmas tree decorations and
Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Yay.
So prior to that, King George III's wife, Queen Charlotte, practiced a similar tradition during Christmas. The general public was yet to catch on to this tradition. They usually brought just a branch or mistletoe into their homes on Christmas Day. But then the royal family is all like, we're going to bring in a whole damn tree. And everyone else is like, I just need this branch. Like, I'm good.
Simpler times with branches.
Imagine that. Just grab a tree, like just our tree branch, you know? You don't have to like be like, okay, we're going to chop down a tree and bring it into our house.
Which, like, I love the tree in the house, but holy damn, are they expensive. So it would save a lot of money to just go and get a damn branch.
Yeah, you just bring like a little mistletoe or something, you know, it's not much of anything. So yeah, so across the broader of society, the practice of singing and merrymaking during Christmas only became common after Prince Albert and Queen Victoria got married in 1840. The German Prince Albert brought a host of German customs that he openly celebrated during Christmas. One of the royal couple's Christmas celebrations, part of their celebration, involved bringing pine trees into their home at Windsor Castle and decorating with candles, sweets, and gingerbread. And around this tree, the royal family and court sang Christmas songs. Victoria and her family can therefore be regarded as the first people to popularize the modern version of Christmas celebrations with trees and carol singing.
Oh my god, I love it. And it kind of explains why we dress the way we do.
Yeah.
And, you know, Dickens type of stuff. Like, I love it. Can I throw in another fun fact about Victoria?
Okay.
And wearing a white wedding dress was not a thing that they did until Queen Victoria wore a white wedding dress.
Damn, she is such a trendsetter.
Yeah, before it was just like, wear your nicest thing kind of a thing. She's the one that started the trend of wearing a white wedding dress.
She must have been really cool because I feel like people really picked up on her compared to like other people. I don't know.
Right?
Like other royal people. Like,
no. And then another fun fact. Sorry, I have two.
Oh, yeah.
And she's so romantic. So she and Albert were only married for a very short period of time. She ruled like for 40 years and he died within like the first like 15, maybe 20, 10, 15, 20. But she still had his clothes laid out every day.
Oh my God, that's kind of creepy.
It's creepy,
cute,
but also
it's
romantic.
Yeah.
She loved him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
what do you think, Albert? Awesome. Is this okay?
We are not amused. Who's this we, Queen? Who's this we?
So on December 23rd, 1848, the Illustrated London News published an engraving of Queen Victoria in the company of her husband, Prince Albert, and their children, and Victoria's mother, the Duchess of Kent. And these pictures made Christmas celebrations very popular again. With this came several compositions of Christmas carols and hymns. Because it's like they see them, you know, you see it like in a paper or something like that. Like, oh, look, here's the royal family. And like they're hanging out next to this giant tree inside their house. And they're also like obviously like singing and stuff. And so then it became popular to be like, let's print books so people can also, you know, sing songs in their house and stuff like that.
How fun.
On top of that, the English author, Charles Dickens.
Yes.
Published his famous stories in books such as A Christmas Carol and A Christmas Tree. These stories went a long way in reviving Christmas and Christmas caroling in England. Most of Dickens' stories sought to drum home the message of generosity and reconciliation. Yeah.
And grandiose amounts of humor.
There we go.
I'm really enjoying his books.
So additionally, William Sandys and Davis Gilbert tremendously helped with propagating Christmas carols during the 19th century. The two writers went around villages and towns in England compiling a vast collection of Christmas songs from over the centuries. Most notable of them include God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, The First Noel, and Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Oh my God, this is just so warm and fuzzy.
So then it was around this time that caroling, you know, started to come about. Like caroling as we know the verb of caroling being, you know, go to people's houses and just be all like sweet and sing songs.
Yeah, not wassailing.
Yes.
Which sounded dangerous.
Yes. The carols were typically sung by candlelight. Groups of people, almost like the minstrels of old, went from home to home singing carols. Once again, it was common for carols to be sung in the streets. In addition to this, a host of private choir groups and orchestras sprung up from the traveling bands of minstrels. Some of the most famous Christmas carols that we love in the 21st century are written by those people during the Victorian era. Examples include Good King,
Good King Wenceslas.
Wenceslas, Good King Wenceslas, Jingle Bells, and Oh Holy Night.
Aw.
Yes.
Jingle Bells. Wow.
I know. It was written during the Victorian
I
age.
honestly thought Jingle Bells was like a 50s thing, 40s or 50s.
See, yeah,
thing.
I would have thought like I guess it's very close in time, but I would have thought like kind of the 1920s or something, 1919s or 19 teens, you know? Like
what you and I assumed is close.
You're no close to like the Victorian time. Like, you know, come to think of it, when it's like I guess 1870s or something, it's like I'm just kind of thinking like the early 19s, you know, teens. Like I don't know, just made sense.
Yeah,
But
I thought it was like a 50s thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So the lyrics in Good King Wenceslas.
Wenceslas.
Shit. Sorry. The
Wenceslas one night. You gotta just sing it in your head. I
don't know. I just kind of once you say it, that Wenceslas. Okay. So the lyrics were written in 1853 by J.M. Neal, a Anglican priest and hymn writer. Neal basically took a lot of the traditions from Latin and Spanish and everything. And I guess he also was kind of famous for like, quote unquote, writing a bunch of other Christmas carols, but essentially he just kind of found like the ones from like hundreds of years ago and just like retranslated them from like Latin to English.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So by the 1850s and 1860s, all of those Christmas carols and caroling traditions had made their way across Europe to America. Henry Ramsden and John Steiner Steiner's publication Christmas Carols, New and Old, became very popular and aided in caroling becoming popular in the U.S. And I guess Christmas became a national holiday in the U.S. in 1872. I now know that fun fact.
That is a very fun fact. That's a fun fact.
It was like all of a sudden it's just like everyone's getting all inundated with all these like songs and all of this like fun jubilance and craziness and everything. And so it's just like, let's make this a holiday now.
I'm into it.
Yeah. And I guess after a Civil War, it's like, I don't know, maybe we need something to bring us all together. And like,
yeah, give us some good, warm, fuzzy feelings.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
like, it's been 10 years and we're still kind of pissed off. And like,
yeah.
So Christmas carols in the early 20th century, Christmas and caroling became very popular and lucrative for the printing, confectionery, and jewelry businesses. And the number of publications about Christmas carols also spiked. Charles Lewis Hutchinson's famous Carols Old and Carols New was published in 1916. Another very famous publication was the Oxford Book of Carols. This book was published by the Oxford University Press in 1928. And then it just kind of went from there where
you've got Jingle Bell Rock and...
Yeah, exactly. And Justin Bieber's got his own carol song.
I know,
you know,
everything. It exploded.
Yes, exactly. So that is the history of carols.
I like it. Oh my God, I really want to go caroling now. But
let's grab that wine and go.
I know. Just like... do it. Goodbye. That was fun. I liked that.
Now you got some fun facts for
that holiday party that you won't be attending, but maybe in the future will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I definitely just was singing Christmas carols in my head the whole time.
Nice.
Every time you mentioned one, I was like, oh, that one.
Yeah. I mean, I could have written, I guess, more of the modern-y stuff, but a lot of those like Frosty the Snowman and all of that kind of stuff came about in like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I really just was like, that's when carols started, was the 50s.
Yeah. But like Jingle Bells was written like the 1800s.
But that makes sense too, because so there's this movie. It's a French movie. It's fabulous. I do suggest it. And it's called Joy Noel, and it's World War One. And they took a Christmas break during the fighting. I think it was like the first or second year or something, because they all started singing Christmas carols together.
Okay, yeah.
So that's kind of fun, because you know that it based on what you researched, like they are thing. But that was World War One. Like I was gonna tell you, it was like, oh yeah, it isn't the 50s. I should have known, like it was earlier, like you said, because
Noel and all that stuff was all written in the 1800s.
I think I kind of figured like Good King Wenceslas was older because I really thought good kings. I thought he was like a good king, an actual good king.
I don't know. Maybe
Took
he
care of
is. I have no
people.
idea. Like, someone tell me.
Sounds like it was made up.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. He could be a person. Is he a precursor to Santa Claus?
I don't know, but it is one of my favorites.
Yay!
Yay! Happy holidays!
Yes. Well, enjoy your holiday, your
And,
Christmas, your winter solstice.
Yeah, happy holidays. Enjoy your punch and some Christmas caroling. Light a candle and make it glow.
And sing some songs and
that's-
dance
yes.
in circles.
Just don't get stabbed.
Bye.
Bye.
Some sources for this are The Book of Christmas Folklore by Tristram Coffin, worldhistoryedu.com, European Mythology by Jacqueline Simpson.